10 minutes before Kevin left school, actually. Mew had already arrived in front of the school gate. About who Kevin's friend was, Mew also realized it, but Gulf reprimanded him. He told Mew to keep quiet and let Kevin do as he pleased. Gulf said, "Let him play as he pleases. Besides, Kevin has never had a friend before." It was that statement that made Mew shut up, letting Kevin be fooled by Layden, who was none other than Olivok. Upon arriving home, Kevin hurried out of the car to go inside the house, leaving Gulf, who was still in the car with Mew. A few minutes after Kevin left, Gulf was about to get out of the car to follow Kevin, but Mew stopped him. Mew grabbed Gulf's wrist. Gulf turned and sat back down in the car. "Want to keep me company for a while?" "Where?" Gulf replied. "Get in. Let Kevin rest first," Mew said after closing the car door again. Then Mew started his car and hurried towards wherever he was going. The atmosphere inside the car was quiet. It seemed like Mew's mood was bad now. With no other choice, Gulf finally spoke. "He's Olivok, right? He's your son." "I don't want to discuss that," Mew said coldly. Gulf let out a soft sigh. Again, Mew avoided this question. Gulf turned his face to the side, facing the window. He leaned his body on the car seat. Mew, realizing that Gulf was in a bad mood because of his actions, tried to smile again. He stroked Gulf's hair, which was clearly visible, because Gulf was facing away from him. While driving the car, Mew said, "Bad mood." Gulf was still indifferent, not turning around and not responding to Mew's words. "Sorry," he said again. Gulf still didn't respond. "Baby?" he asked. "Yes, it's Olivok. You already know." Finally, Gulf turned to him. "Why is he here? Especially since he goes to Kevin's school. Does he want revenge? Should I give you a bullet?" Gulf nodded slowly. His face now looked very worried. "Don't worry, he won't dare to hurt Kevin. He's just taking advantage of Kevin to meet you with me." "What do you mean?" Gulf replied, confused. Mew smiled thinly. It was a sign of the answer to Gulf's question earlier. Gulf, who was still confused, continued to stare intently at Mew. Even now Mew ignored him. Mew continued to focus on driving. Silence until a few tens of minutes later, they arrived at an island. Gulf was still looking around the outside of his car. He was even more confused. Where exactly was Mew taking him? A dozen minutes later, they arrived at a house that was blocked by a fence. The fence was very high, but you could still see the contents inside the fence. Mew stopped his car in the middle of the thick trees. At the gate of the house, there were dozens, even thousands of guards who were guarding inside. Mew was about to get out of the car. Quickly, Gulf grabbed Mew's right arm. Mew turned to him. "Where are you going?" Gulf said, looking anxious. "Wait for me a moment." "Don't." Hearing Gulf's prohibition, Mew got back in the car. "Don't leave me alone. I'm scared," Gulf said, while shaking Mew's arm. Mew smiled thinly. "Gulf afraid?" Gulf nodded. "Why come here? Let's just go home. We'll have a date tonight?" Mew smirked. "Didn't we want to know about Alicia?" Gulf was silent for a moment, releasing his grip on Mew's arm. "Is this her house?" Seeing Gulf's face starting to be in a bad mood, Mew rubbed Gulf's soft cheeks. "Yes, honey, it's true that I want to know about her, but it doesn't mean I want to meet her. You better just take me home. It's up to you if you want to meet her. I want to go home," Gulf said sharply, after turning his face away. "Jealousy, Gulfs." Mew laughed with satisfaction. It was unexpected to make Gulf jealous. It turned out to be very easy. No, honey, I'm kidding, okay? We're going home, okay? You wanna date me for a while, right? Application, making Golf blush with embarrassment. Golf muttered, "Why did you bring me here? Just to show off Alicia's house. Wasting my time," he muttered while fiddling with his fingers. Mew chuckled softly while restarting his car and driving home. "That's not it, babe. That's not why I brought you here." Golf was silent. "I just want to show you the situation of Aliovak's house." Golf was still silent. Angry, Mew was still trying to recover Golf's mood. "Baby, sorry. Forgive me. Honey, don't do that again. Promise." Wasteful. Golf. Still angry? Golf. "So, all this time Alicia has been living here? In this city? In this country? Is this also the reason you took me to move to Russia?" Golf said, without turning to Mew at all. Mew sighed softly. "Golf, are you suspecting me again? You always make me feel confused. Sometimes I'm tired, really very tired. I feel stupid because I don't know what your real purpose is in keeping me." Golf replied, "You're not stupid. It's my fault. That's it. Stop talking about it. I've tried to forget about it. Now, what I'm planning, I want to marry you quickly." Golf was silent again. Mew begged Golf again, "It's up to you what you're going to do to me. As long as it doesn't endanger Kevin, it's no big deal to me." Golf said sharply, hearing an answer that wasn't heartwarming. Mew stopped his car on the side of the road. This is still a very deserted road. Instantly, Golf immediately turned towards Mew. Mew, who had been staring intently at him, made Golf feel stiff. Golf turned his eyes away, back to focusing on the front. "Look at me," Mew said, still in a soft tone. Golf was silent. I don't know why Golf's heart was beating faster. He couldn't return Mew's gaze that was so full of lust. It was clearly visible. "Golf, I told you to look at me. I want to go home. Look at me first. I want to go home. I won't take you home if you don't want to look at me." Golf clicked his tongue, still not following Mew's orders. Mew, who was impatient, he held Golf's chin and turned his face towards him. "Don't say it like that. I don't like it. What I'm doing now, it's all for you, for Kevin and for us. I know if you know all this truth, I won't force you to stay with me. So, would you enjoy your time while you're still with me?" Mew said, while gently stroking Golf's cheek. Golf was silent, still staring blankly at Mew. "Let's go home, okay? But don't be mad anymore. I'm sorry about the earlier problem. I didn't mean to make you jealous. I just wanted to test if you still like me. That's all. I don't know why." Hearing Mew's explanation that sounded so sincere made Golf's heart soften again. Golf tried to smile. Mew returned the smile with a small kiss on Golf's left cheek. Golf was stunned. He was surprised by the sudden kiss. Mew chuckled softly. Then, a little while later, Mew started his car to hurry home. Even on the journey, they occasionally glanced at each other and returned smiles to each other. Alexander's residence. In the same room and the same people. Borin, Min, Aliovik, Alex, and also Alicia. "So, you've met Mew?" Borin said. "Yes." "He knows you?" "Say it means yes. But Kevin doesn't seem to realize it. Besides, it's impossible if Bright directly tells Kevin about who I really am. Because of the ban from Golf, we can take advantage of it." Aliovik answered. "Golf, how is he? Did you see his face? Does he look healthy?" Alicia said. Aliovik smiled thinly, hearing Alicia's question. Mom worried about him. Alicia was silent. She didn't intend to answer Aliovik's question. "Don't worry, I'm sure he's fine. Aliovic continued. Silence. Alex clicked his tongue, breaking the silence. Then what's your next plan? I want to get inside his house. Aliovic replied. That fast? Boren said. The sooner the better. Besides, I'm also sure it's only a matter of time. Kevin will ask me to come to his house. Aliovic replied. About the student named Reno. Did you make him injured and have his hand amputated? Alex said. Aliovic was silent, still with his flat face. He deserved it. Even that's not enough. Aliovic said. Just finish your task. Don't make any mistakes. Alex said. Only Kevin is the only key to making Golf believe what we say. If we get his trust, I'm sure it will be easy to get Golf into our grasp. Aliovic said. Then, if you've already got Golf, what are you going to do to him? Boren said, full of suspicion. Instantly, everyone in the room, now their eyes are focused on Aliovic. Aliovic smiled thinly. Do you think I'm going to take advantage of Golf? Aliovic clicked his tongue. I know what you're thinking, and the answer to your suspicion of me, it's not true. I want Golf not for revenge on him. You don't need to know what I want because I've said it many times. We both win. You can catch Mew and I get Golf, he said. Then after that, Aliovic got up from his seat and left the room. I don't know why Boren still didn't believe what Aliovic had said earlier. It's not anything, but Aliovic's behavior seemed to say that his desire to get Golf because of lust. It could be seen from Aliovic's gaze when discussing Golf. In Golf Kanawut's room, only Golf's room, not with Mew. Now Golf is daydreaming in front of his room mirror, staring at himself. Golf let out a long sigh. It's almost 7 p.m. His date with Mew is at 8:30 p.m. I don't know why his heart was beating fast. His desire to escape from Mew's clutches suddenly appeared in his mind. This is like an intuition, as if giving Golf a chance to escape. Golf shook his head from left to right. No, you can't hurt Kevin. If you run away alone, then Kevin will be in danger. This is like yourself. A few minutes after Golf muttered, suddenly the door to Golf's room opened. Babe, Mew said. After opening the door to Golf's room, Golf turned towards him, staring blankly at Mew. Mew walked towards Golf. Are you ready, honey? Golf nodded slowly. The two of them, now wearing all black clothes, they are going to prepare for their first date. Mixed feelings of nervousness and joy are inside them. Mew extended his hand to Golf. Soon after, Golf took his outstretched hand. Then Mew led Golf out of his room until he arrived. In front of the house, there were already dozens of Mews, bodyguards who would be on guard. During their date, Mew and Golf entered the car, along with a driver. Golf didn't know where Mew was taking him. It seemed like Golf was a little nervous. Mew, realizing this, he grabbed Golf's hands. Then, he put them on top of his palms. He gently rubbed Golf's fingers, trying to make Golf feel calmer. Everything will be alright, honey. Calm down, okay? Golf nodded slowly, trying to smile at Mew. Mew returned his smile. Then he pushed Golf's head until he leaned against his shoulder, making Golf feel more calm and comfortable. On their date journey, Mew kept stroking Golf's hair. While holding Golf's hand tightly so it wouldn't come loose. Until a few tens of minutes later, they arrived at a building. It seems this is not a cafe or a restaurant. More precisely, this is a movie theater. After they arrived, Mew led Golf to get out of the car. Then they walked into the building, followed by several of his bodyguards. Every step Gulf took, he kept focusing on the future. Look around the alley that is filled with paintings. Not paintings of animals or humans, but more like a different natural world. It's really hard to explain in detail until they arrived in a room that was only filled with a large screen and 2 chairs. Mew sat down on the chair, as did Gulf. "You're taking me to watch a movie," Gulf said. Mew smiled thinly. "I've never watched a movie, so I want to do this with you." Gulf was silent. He focused again on the big screen in front of him. The distance was a little far. Then Mew signaled to one of his bodyguards to turn on the big screen. Soon after, the big screen lit up, showing a cover of a couple, a woman and a man. Remember guys, this is just a figment of my imagination, so don't take it too seriously into the real world. I'm just borrowing this cover, and the title will also be different. Gulf turned to Mew. Mew, who had been staring at him, now just sat there blankly, staring back at Gulf. "What's the title?" "Death Note," Mew replied. "Death Note?" Mew nodded, smiling thinly. "Scary?" "No," Mew replied. Then, romantic. A few moments later, the movie they were watching, titled Death Note, had started. Gulf focused on the movie he was watching but not on Mew. Mew stared at Gulf's face more often than the movie. Death Note. Duration 3 hours 55 minutes and 20 seconds minutes. The movie tells the story of the death of the bride's parents, and the murderer is the groom. It's not a story, just a synopsis of the story that I will tell. While waiting for MEWGULF to finish watching the movie, the 2 couples, it turns out, were already bound by holy vows. Since they were children, their parents had arranged a marriage between the man and the woman. Let's just say Daniel is the groom and Aletta is the bride. At that time, Aletta was about 6 years old and Daniel was about 8 to 9 years old. It wasn't admiration that Daniel felt, but hatred for that woman, Aletta. Unlike the woman, Aletta had loved Daniel at first sight. The reason Daniel hated Aletta was because, on the other hand, Daniel already had a lover, not a lover. More precisely, Daniel's heart was already filled by another woman. Until a few years later, when Aletta was 10 years old, it was reported that her parents had died in a murder. Since then, Aletta was raised by Daniel's parents. Since then, Daniel's hatred for Aletta grew stronger until they were 20 years old. Daniel's parents held a wedding for their 2 children. Daniel couldn't refuse because of his father's threat, and their marriage ended. They were legally married. Don't think that their life is filled with love for each other. Aletta was treated unfairly by Daniel. Domestic violence, that's what Aletta felt. Aletta didn't dare to complain to her mother-in-law because she was afraid of Daniel's threats. What was even more hurtful for Aletta, Daniel openly cheated on the woman he loved. Even Daniel had sex with that woman at Daniel and Aletta's home, without a shred of shame. If it wasn't for love, maybe Aletta would have asked for a divorce from Daniel. Because of the seeds of love, Aletta couldn't let that slut take her husband's heart. Their relationship has been going on for 7 years, and Aletta hasn't even gotten pregnant yet. 7 years of living with a man who hates her. That wasn't her dream. Until a few months after 7 years had passed, there was a flash drive that was delivered by a man. The flash drive contained information about the death of her parents. Aletta watched the video, and the contents of the video were: Daniel, he was the one who killed her parents. He didn't just kill her parents, but also her friends and the people Aletta had visited that Daniel killed. Psychopath. But why did Daniel do all that? Why did Daniel kill innocent people? From then on, Aletta's love for Daniel faded. Even from then on, Aletta asked for a divorce from Daniel. But strangely, Daniel refused Aletta's request. Refusal. This is ridiculous. Why did Daniel refuse when he actually didn't have a shred of love for Aletta? From that day on, the day when all of Daniel's lies were exposed, Daniel behaved more rudely towards Aletta. Even Daniel also locked up Aletta when Aletta planned to run away. 2 years went by like that. Aletta received violence and restraint. Even Daniel often raped Aletta forcefully. Aletta was scared, until finally Aletta became pregnant with Daniel's child. Daniel was pleased. Since Aletta's pregnancy, Daniel's attitude has changed drastically. Daniel spoiled Aletta and tried not to be rude to Aletta, but it all couldn't make Aletta love Daniel again. Aletta just always followed whatever Daniel ordered to avoid the violence. Until 4 months after Aletta's pregnancy, suddenly there was a police officer who raided Daniel's house. Because Daniel tried to run away and forcibly take Aletta, the police officer fired several bullets at Daniel. Daniel was killed, and Aletta survived. And the person who reported Aletta's domestic violence was the one who sent the flash drive to Aletta. Since that incident, Aletta has no intention of getting married again. Aletta raised her child alone, far from her in-laws. Sad end, isn't it? Are there any stories that end happily ever after? Why did you choose this movie? Is the meaning in this movie the answer to all my questions? Gulf said, without turning to Mew at all. Mew was silent, still staring blankly at Gulf. I want to go home, Gulf said. Then Gulf got up from his seat. Mew grabbed Gulf's wrist to stop Gulf's steps. Gulf, how difficult is it to be honest with me? Gulf said after releasing Mew's grip. Mew also got up from his seat, trying to grab Gulf's wrist again. But again Gulf pushed it away. You're scared. If I know all your lies, my nature will become like the woman named Aletta, Gulf said, while stepping back to avoid Mew's touch. Listen to me. Mew, please, Gulf said. Besides, our relationship won't last until our last breath. Please, don't be like this. Fight your fears. If you keep covering up all your secrets from me, our story will end sadly. Gulf, Mew shouted. Gulf stood there stunned at the sound of Mew's shout. Listen to me. Whatever you said earlier, it's all not true. If you know all my secrets, then me, you, and even Kevin will die on the same day. Then you want to be tough and bear all this burden alone. Gulf said, Mew, you have me. It's too unfair if you bear all these problems alone. Make it difficult for me, bother me, because here I am your partner. I'm your fiancé. Did you hear that? Slowly, Mew grabbed Gulf's wrist. Sorry. So, are you ready to tell me about all this? Mew nodded slowly. Let's go home first, okay? No. Tell me what really happened first. Later, when we get home, I'll tell you everything. Lying? You must be lying, Gulf said. No, babe, I won't lie. Promise, Gulf said, extending his pinky finger. Mew nodded, smiling thinly. If you lie, I will make sure I will never give you a second chance to make me believe in you. 11:34 p.m. Now, Mew and Gulf are still on their way home. It's quiet. You can only hear the chirping of bats around the bridge. Wait, Gulf said suddenly. Mew glanced at him. This isn't the way home, is it? Mew smirked, hearing Golf's question. Where else are you taking me? I'm tired. I wanna rest quickly. Golf complained. We're going home, but not to my house, babe. Then, where are you taking me home? Instead of answering Golf's question, Mew just smiled thinly. He didn't respond to Golf's question again. Until a few dozen minutes later, Mew stopped his car in front of a large building. Apartment or hotel? Hotel, Golf said, stunned. Get out. No, I want to go home. We're already home, babe. Home to your house? Not here, Golf whined. It's late. Let's stay here for now. I don't want to ish. The reason Golf didn't want to stay at the hotel, maybe because Golf was traumatized. It's not anything a few years ago. Golf was also first invited to stay at the hotel. Well, in the end, Mew took the opportunity. Mew started a relationship with Golf. I'm tired, babe. Let's just stay here. Mew begged again. Golf frowned. He was silent. Mew is tired. Baby, you will love this. No story available. Let me drive, Golf said, still insisting on returning home to Mew's house. Mew chuckled. Can you drive? You can't drive, babe. I'll find a taxi. It's too late. There won't be any taxis around here. That's it. Don't make any more excuses, Mew said. Then after that, Mew got out of his car to open the car door for Golf. Golf was still silent. He bit his own lip. You wouldn't want me to carry you inside, would you? Golf was still silent. His heart was beating faster. Get out, babe. Do you really want me to carry you? We're just staying overnight, right? Not like last year, Golf said, starting to get anxious. Mew chuckled softly. Get out quickly. But Mew, who was impatient, immediately grabbed Golf's wrist and pulled him gently until Golf got out of the car. Then Mew held Golf's hand to enter the hotel. After finishing booking the hotel room, Mew continued walking until he arrived in front of the hotel room he had booked. Then Mew led Golf into the room. Clean yourself up first, Mew said after releasing Golf's hand. Okay, clothes problem, Mew said. Don't worry about it. I'll go out and buy you clothes nearby. Take a shower quickly. After hearing Mew's orders, Golf immediately went into the bathroom to clean himself. Stupid. This was planned by Mew. Mew immediately went out of his hotel room to get his belongings in his car. 15 minutes passed. Mew took off all his clothes to follow Golf to the bathroom. First, Mew knocked on the bathroom door first. Knock, knock. Open the door. Damn. Golf was very anxious to hear Mew's voice outside. I want to shower with you. Golf was still silent. He didn't intend to open the door for Mew. Mew wasn't stupid. He knew that Golf wouldn't open the door for him willingly. Mew took the spare key to the bathroom, and after the bathroom door opened, Mew immediately went inside and locked the door again. Golf stepped back until Golf bumped into something. He covered his private parts. Mew chuckled softly. Come here, he said softly. Golf was stunned, still staring blankly at Mew. I told you to wait outside. Why did you come in? Mew stepped closer to Golf. Stop there. Mew still didn't follow Golf's words. I told you to stop. Do you want to play tag or horse riding? He said when he got right next to Golf's ear. Golf widened his eyes. He was about to push Mew's body, but Mew had already held Golf's waist first. He prevented Golf's push through that waist hold. Golf could feel Mew's trunk swaying, touching his stomach. Plaque, you! Damn! Golf cursed when Mew slapped his butt. Instantly, Golf immediately pushed Mew's body with all his might until they were thrown back a few steps. No, not now. I'm tired. I want to rest. Gulf shouted, worried. Mew didn't respond to Gulf's words. Mew approached Gulf again and tried to grab Gulf's waist again. But Gulf was more agile, avoiding Mew's touch. Gulf panicked. He tried to calm Mew's lust. Not now, okay? Tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow, okay? He said, while taking steps back to avoid the distance from Mew. Mew clicked his tongue. You're going to cheat me again. Mew managed to hug Gulf tightly, not letting Gulf avoid his touch anymore. Gulf was still trying to release this hug, but he kept failing until Gulf got tired from moving too actively. Mew took advantage of Gulf's weakened body to bathe Gulf. After showering, Mew carried Gulf until he was on the bed. I don't know why. At times like this, Gulf couldn't move his body or open his eyes. It's as if Gulf is under a spell. Soon after, Mew took a familiar tool when having sex like this. A vibrator and also a lubricant. Mew couldn't forget to bring those two tools. Mew, Gulf called softly. Mew turned to him. Not now, please. He begged again. Mew was indifferent. I don't want to endure the pain anymore. You know, when yours enters my hole so quickly, it really hurts me. You don't care about me at all. Mew chuckled softly. This time it won't be that painful. Still not want to. You have to want to, Mew said. Sighed Gulf when the touch of Mew's hand began to be felt in his hole. Slow down, Mew. Regardless of Gulf's babbling, Mew continued to push her finger into Gulf's hole. Hearing the sound of Gulf's weakening sighs, Mew accelerated her finger movements again. It hurts. Mew, slow down. It hurts. Stop. Gulf's body trembled as Mew's finger continued to accelerate her movements. Gulf tried to grab Mew's hand with both hands, but Mew blocked him first. Mew held both of Gulf's hands, not letting Gulf move freely. You, please, stop for a second, Mew. Why? Does it still hurt? Mew, that's not the problem. But me? Stop for a minute. I can't take it anymore, Gulf said, ignoring Gulf's request. Mew stroked Gulf's trunk, which was already standing upright. He gently shook the small trunk while glancing at Gulf several times. Gulf again sighed and moaned. A few minutes after stroking Gulf's proboscis, Mew sucked on it, licking each side of Gulf's trunk with her tongue. Gulf's body trembled with the sensation of pleasure. Mew, stop. I'm about to come. Take it out of your mouth, said Gulf quickly. Mew ignored Gulf's words and accelerated his suction even more. Gulf spontaneously grabbed Mew's hair and pressed Mew's head deeper. Moments later, a thick white liquid filled Mew's mouth. The warm liquid was then swallowed whole by Mew without disgust. Do you like it? You always tell me to stop and don't want to, but look, this trunk of yours is really enjoying my suction. You even press my head, Gulf. Mew said in a mocking tone. That's your fault. You provoked me first, said Gulf. Now it's my turn, babe. You don't want me to be rude, do you? So you have to obey, right? Gulf responded indifferently, but he couldn't resist. Then Mew took the lube and poured it over his already stiff shaft. Then Mew gently inserted hers into Gulf's hole slowly. But suddenly Mew accelerated her movements until he reached the base of his shaft. Crazy you? Yours is too big. Take it slow and get it out quickly, sighed Gulf, who was holding back pain because Mew's size was not normal. Don't you like the size of mine, Gulf? You even enjoyed it when I inserted it, Mew said while licking Gulf's ear. Mew, don't do that. I'm ticklish, Gulf said. Now Mew's lips went down to the side of Golf's neck and left kiss marks on each side. Then the kiss went down again to Golf's chest and sucked and bit Golf's nipples until they turned red. Crazy, don't bite, it hurts. Stop, Mew. Do you want to kill him off? Do you want to make love or eat me? Golf said again. Mew immediately kissed Golf's mouth when Golf was about to swear again. Mew didn't care about Golf's swearing. Mew knew that Golf was only rough in the mouth, but he was actually very soft. After being satisfied kissing and licking all over Golf's body, Mew accelerated her movements again, while changing positions several times. And after wrestling with Golf for quite a while, Mew finally reached the climax. Her body wriggled, and thick white liquid came out abundantly in Golf's hole until it flowed out. And without a break, Mew did it again for several rounds. You pervert, crazy vampire. I can't anymore. Mew, please stop. Golf could only swear at Mew every time Mew did it again. Finally, Golf could only surrender and enjoy it. Golf could only come twice, but Mew could last up to 5 times. Her stamina was very strong. Finally, Golf fell unconscious. When Mew wanted to do it again for the 6th time, Mew panicked a little. Mew immediately took the bottle containing his blood that he had prepared before coming here. Mew drank the blood, then kissed Golf's lips to channel the blood. Mew kept doing that until it was certain that the blood in the bottle was completely gone. Then Mew leaned Golf's body on the bed. Mew pulled the bed sheet that was very dirty with the remains of their sperm. Then Mew put Golf's body back on the bed, not forgetting. Mew also covered Golf's naked body to his chest, until suddenly his phone was ringing. Mew immediately took his phone from the table near Golf's bed to answer Doo's call. Are you home? No, he's here. He's looking for you. He's in my living room now. Give me 30 minutes. I'll be right there. But before that, I ask for your help. Hurry up and get here. Me and Golf are at hotel. Please take care of him while I'm not by his side. Okay, I'll be right there. After finishing talking on the phone with Doo, Mew hurried into the bathroom to clean himself. After Mew finished showering and changing clothes, Doo arrived at his hotel room. Mew invited Doo in and instantly Doo was stunned, seeing how messy the room was. You just, Doo hinted. Mew smiled thinly. Take care of Golf. I'll be right back. After Mew left his hotel room, Doo cleaned up the remaining sperm and other dirt that was scattered around the room. For 47 a.m., Doo finished tidying the room. Instantly, Doo was focused on Golf. Doo walked towards Golf, then sat next to Golf. Doo was about to stroke Golf's hair, but suddenly his instinct told him to stop. Doo bit his own lip when he saw Golf's pale face. Golf's sleepy eyes almost tempted Doo's lust, but remembering who Golf's handler was, Doo shook his head. He didn't want to break Mew's trust in him. Doo muttered, a person as good as you. But Mew is still keeping many secrets from you? You don't even know that Mew left you after having sex with your body just to meet another woman. I feel sorry for you, but I also know this isn't entirely Mew's fault. I hope Mew doesn't hurt you anymore, Golf. I'm scared. I'm really scared if you get hurt because of your own expectations, Doo said. After that, Doo got up from his seat to move to the sofa in the room. Doo took the newspaper to read while waiting for Golf to wake up. Even occasionally, Doo also often glanced at Golf, seeing so many kiss marks on Golf's neck. For some reason, made Doo's lust even stronger. anger. But again, Du insisted on diverting that dirty thought. 7:54 a.m. Gulf woke up from his sleep. Gulf looked around the room he was now staying in. "Are you awake?" Du said, breaking Gulf's daydreams. Gulf was silent. He tried to sit up, but his butt was very sore. Gulf sighed. Instantly, Du immediately approached Gulf. He was about to help Gulf, but Gulf pushed Du's hand away when Du dared to touch him. "I can do it myself," Gulf said coldly. "But you, go home. I don't need your help," Gulf said. Du let out a soft sigh. Then Du took his phone and showed Gulf the message from Mew on his phone. "Gulf, follow Du's words. Follow him. Don't rebel, okay? I'll be right back." After reading that short message, Gulf glared sharply at Du, as if he didn't believe that the short message was actually from Mew. But he had no other choice but to follow Mew's orders in the short message. "I've prepared clothes for you. You can shower after this. I'll wait for you outside," Du said. After that, Du went out of the room. Gulf clicked his tongue in annoyance. Du, who could still hear Gulf's clicking sound, turned back towards Gulf. "Do you want me to help you shower?" Gulf widened his eyes, stared even sharper at Du. Du chuckled after successfully teasing Gulf. After that, Du went out of the room to let Gulf clean himself. A few tens of minutes later, Gulf finished cleaning himself. He immediately went out of the room and was greeted by Du and also several of Bright's bodyguards. Then, Du led Gulf to get in the car. They planned to go back home to Mew's house. On the way, Gulf rested his head on the window. He daydreamed, staring out the window. Unlike Du, he was aware of the fact that he kept glancing at Gulf. "Don't get me wrong, Mew left you with me because that's also for your sake. Don't be mad at him," Du said, as if he knew what Gulf was thinking.